Damian Hall, thank you very much for talking to me again. How are you?
Hi, thanks for having me on again. I'm pretty good, thanks, all things considered.
Yes. So come on, let's get this out the way. What happened that pesky?
Well, we're getting into a habit, aren't we? We had a chat in January after I ran the Pennine Way, starting the other direction, and same result. Didn't get to the end. Didn't get the result I wanted. And both times I started off running with Kim Collison, so I blame him entirely.
Good plan.
Yes. Look out, people. He's the smiley assassin. I guess I'm still going over it a bit. But yeah, I was trying to break John Kelly's record on the Pennine Way after he broke mine. So I'd added 3.5 hours to the record. He added another 3.5 hours. And for quite a while, it was going fairly well. I was 2 hours, even when I stopped, I was 2 hours quicker than I had been the time before. So that was encouraging. But I just wasn't quick enough. And I guess what I'm trying to work out. Well, that's what I'm trying to work out. Like, was it environmental factors that were the most significant? Or was I just not, did I maybe just not even want it enough? I keep hearing John Kelly's amazing at getting into that dark place, and he's got quite a reputation for industrial language and sort of grunting and not saying much more. And maybe that's what gets you these great records. And I don't really seem to get to that state. But yeah, the weather, I just think firstly, you almost never get perfect weather on the Pennine Way. The temperature was fantastic. A lot of the trails were very dry, which is what I was hoping for. That was my number one thing. But yeah, we had, at some times we had the wind right in our faces, quite a strong wind. I think 40 miles an hour. Someone was saying, so there were some spells where the wind held us up. There was a spell on a flat track leading up to Town Hill where it was more effective to hike than to run. That was frustrating, and we lost, I can't remember, maybe even half an hour on that stretch, but 10 to 30 minutes. So that was frustrating. Even at Town Hill, I think I was only 15 minutes behind his record, and that's like, what's the distance there? A little over halfway. So it was going well, even despite the wind. But then if I analyse it more honestly, there were spells afterwards when it wasn't so windy where I still lost a bit of time. So it wasn't just the wind. I mean, my crew were very kind, and they were saying, well, yeah, but you're more tired than you should be because of the wind. Who really knows? Because if the wind's not there next time, I mean, this time of year, it could easily be too hot, It could be, but it's often boggy. So I think there's almost always going to be some factors like that. So yeah, the wind didn't help, but maybe I just wasn't up to it anyway. Maybe I wasn't sweary enough.
Just not the right day.
Yeah.
You said when we last spoke how well you had felt when you started out on the race, how surprised you were, how good you felt. Did you feel that good this time?
Oh, that's a good question. If I'm honest, I felt good, but not spectacular. I would say in the winter I felt spectacular by my standards. This time I felt decent, but if I'm honest, the whole year has been overshadowed a bit by. But I've been writing another book, and it got a bit. I missed 3 deadlines and then handed it in 10,000 words too long. So I didn't need to miss those deadlines because, and that did overshadow definitely kind of February, March, April. That got in the way of training sometimes. So I don't know if it felt amazing. I did do the Fellsman in 4 weeks before, and I felt good on that run. But again, not incredible, but felt good. I had a good day out. Wasn't too stressful. Yeah, good question. I might need to ponder that. I felt pretty good, I'd say. I mean, my pace, I was 2 hours quicker than the previous time I did it. So, yeah, I was pretty, and I fueled better than ever. That was good. I was able to go through 2 nights without sleep until I needed just a 10-minute power nap. Still positives. And I had a lot of fun.
Well,
which is the main thing.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned the Fellsman. I mean, that was it's really interesting. Actually, I had a brief exchange with Ollie about it the other day. Tell me about that, because it's not often, we see in ultra running a lot more, and trail running, people coming in together. You've sort of helped each other through the last few miles, and so you cross that line together. But you don't often see it at the front of the pack. Normally that competitive edge takes over. So what happened? Bit of
Well, I mean, I always considered, I think publicly I was saying it was an A race, but really it was more of a smokescreen for the Pennine Way and the last sort of training run. So really I was thinking more about the Pennine Way 4 weeks later. And if I'm honest, so we ran the whole thing together. And he's brilliant at now, being a GB level, an international orienteer and excellent company too. So I think we're a few K out. And I think it was me that sort of said, right, are we going for a sprint finish, or are we holding hands? And I didn't mind either way. I both felt I probably wouldn't get away from him, but also that I was pretty determined not to let him get away from me. And we both had tried to. I would say I tried 1.5 times. I think he tried a couple of times to get away from me. So I didn't honestly feel I could get away from him at that stage, but I wasn't keen to let him go either. And so I left the decision to him, and then he kind of said, well, actually there is a tradition in this race. I think a few years earlier, that pesky Kim Collison again had finished jointly with Adam Perry. So he kind of said, there's a bit of a tradition of it at this race, so I don't really mind. But we agreed no holding hands. And he did say his wife might be cross with him for sort of lack of competitive edge. I think we're both, fairly happy to just do it that way. It's
not really that competitive an event, though, is it? I mean, traditionally, it's a walkers' event. That's how it started out, wasn't it?
Yes, and that I think that did add to our thinking, actually. Partly that Kim and Adam had already done that, and they may have done it for similar reasons. And there used to be this tradition on the race as well of teaming people up overnight. They've actually stopped that now because I think they've brought in more tracking. But there used to be a tradition where, at night time, they would team people up. So it kind of is something of not a team event, but it's less competitive than it's less of a raw competitive running race than some events. And luckily there were 2 trophies. I think I think he's gone home with the axe, which is like the winner's trophy. But it was our first time for both of us. And I think there's a novice trophy as well, like the fastest novice. So I got that one. So we both got a trophy. So that was the main thing.
Oh, cool. That absolutely. Bling is all that matters, let's face it. Excellent. And going forward, I thought you'd said last time we spoke UTS, but UTS and Tour des Gens. Big
yes,
one.
no, I'm very keen to do UTS. It was in the pot. I just think I've ended up doing Pennine Way a bit later in the year, so it's too close to UTS, which is 3 weeks.
Beginning of July.
Yeah. So it's a bit and it was a bit of a fallback option. I'm very keen to do it next year, but the big one for me is Tour de Gion. I think I'm just plotting whether I've got time to do something later in the summer that as maybe something a little round or something to help with Tour de Gion prep, but I haven't really decided. But Tour de Gion, and then trying to make up for my groin mishap this year at the spine again. So they're the big 2 on the horizon.
Excellent. I think you've got have you got some athletes running in Snowdon as well?
Yes, lots.
Lots.
Yes, all the distances. People seem to be really excited about the race. I guess it's partly the UTMB style of it, that it's kind of all the big climbs. But it's great that they have a 50k as well. So I've got some runners who are newer to ultra running, and they're doing the 50k. By lots I meant sort of five or six. But yeah, I'm sad not to be going up there. Yeah, some good friends doing it as well. Yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting, I think.
And you won't be cheering at the finish line for your athletes? Is that not what all coaches do?
Can't do that every week. It's not out of the question, but I'd have to. Yeah, I've just been away for quite a bit. I'd have to broach that to my boss.
Yes. Yes. Get some credits. Got to get some credits in.
Yes. It might not be possible this time, but I would love to. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be exciting. And there's some decent runners in. Someone called Nikki Spinks or something is doing one of the races. I don't know if you've heard of her, but
no, who's that? No.
Yeah, she steals people's snacks. I'd steer clear.
Pizza.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be exciting up there.
Excellent. And I hear you are now involved in a new thing called the Green Runners.
Yes, there is a new thing. Yeah, there was a group of us. 10 or maybe even 15 of us who sort of got together in a WhatsApp group, and AJ. Sorry,
WhatsApp groups are dangerous.
Yeah, they're kind of the new pub, aren't they? Like, bad ideas get exchanged, and yeah. But yeah, it was AJ's idea, and to I suppose we all have the same mindset of wanting to, I don't know, do better by the planet. And he said, it seems so obvious now, but AJ said, oh, why don't we just form a club? And it was like, oh yeah. This was just before Christmas. So we've had, various Zoom meetings, and yeah, we formed the Green Runners. And really, it's very simple. We got sort of 4 pillars, which we just try and improve on, really. So it's how you move, so your transport, often your race transport, how you kit up, so looking after kit and making it last longer because it has a surprisingly large environmental impact. How you fuel, ultimately, less meat and dairy is better for the planet. And then the fourth pillar I actually think is the most important, which is how you speak up. So I suppose it's speaking about it in whether that's social media or in person. And actually, scientists. I got this book. Yeah, what's this? Saving Us by the excellently named Canadian scientist Catherine Hayhoe. Yeah, she thinks the number one thing we can do is to talk about this stuff. But all we're asking people to do, if they'd like to join us, and we've got well over 300 people joined, is really you only have to pick one pillar and pledge to improve on that pillar this year. I mean, some people are trying to improve on all 4. Some people, make quite dramatic pledges. But it only has to be progress, not perfection, because no one's perfect. And yeah, it's £2 or £3 to join. You get your Green Runners badge. We were going to we debated T-shirts, but that seemed a bit counter. What's the word? Counterproductive. So yeah, you just get a cloth badge that you can sort of sew onto any headwear or pack or T-shirt. And I guess overall our aim is to spread awareness and to maybe campaign a bit to some brands and races and organisations to just try and improve the running world from that perspective, I think. Yes, do come and join. Anyone who's watching, do come and join us, and we can all get together and make a difference. If that doesn't sound too hippie.
Absolutely not. No, well, that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, as I say, we're already partnered with Rerun and Trees Not Teas, so I have no doubt RunUltra will. Can a group be a member as well, or a website?
Oh yeah, we haven't really thought about that. I'm sure we can team up in some way, and yeah, those 2 organisations are very much involved with us as well. Dan Lawson and Charlotte were 2 of the very founding members, and Jim Mann and Chris Zare from Trees Not Teas are very much in it as well. So they were the people who really sort of sounded the alarm in the running world first of all. But yes, thank you. No, good to have you guys on board.
Super. Well. Good luck with the Tour de Géant, which is always a spectacular race. We'll certainly be watching that. I'll be keeping my eyes open for some announcements the night before you set off on a round at some unspecified stage in August. You like to keep us all guessing, don't you?
Well, it's partly because I haven't decided. but yeah, I also like to keep things close to my chest if I can. I suppose it's weird, isn't it? Like I'm perfectly happy to say what races I'm doing, but when it's a sort of personal project, it just feels a bit more. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's nice.
The races.
And also, yeah. Oh, I'm really sorry. I don't know what. Are you still there? Sorry, my phone just rang.
Still here.
Yes, good. Yes, yeah. I haven't quite decided. But yeah, I think it's time for something else. But nothing. It's not. We're not talking Bob Graham round or anything crazy like that. But something lumpy to get me ready for the tour.
Yeah. Well, and I will get your cup of tea ready with soy milk.
Are you going to be back in Dufton, or don't you know yet?
Well, I don't know where I'll be. No, but I'll be out there somewhere with a cattle prod.
Oh, brilliant! If I complain about my groin this time, please just whack me with the cattle prod, or whack me with anything, or prod me with it or something, please.
Will do. All right. Thank you for your time. You take care.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Take care, Kate.
Take care. Bye.